Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fickle Fanboy. So let's get right down to it, shall we? Because I don't know if you noticed, but the last couple of episodes, I've become increasingly cranky, you know? And, well, I probably owe you guys a little bit of an apology. I mean, you're not gonna get that apology, but I probably owe you one, okay? And actually, it's because of those moments that in episode 10, I made a vow to you and to myself that I would try and become more of the solution than the problem. And I told you that it would all start right here, right now. And depending on your reactions to this episode, well, hell, it may all end right here, too, so we'll see. Because as I said in episode 10, it starts with a look back at Super Mario Bros. The movie, as we take a slight moment to rummage around this unfortunate heap and try to do what we can to fix it at the same time. You know, fix it for future generations, should they ever choose to reboot or renew the franchise. So, you're in for a treat, too, because this is, if I had to make, everyone makes a list of their favorite movies. But if I had to make a list of my least favorite movies, well, this shit would definitely break the top 3. So, hang on to your seat, because here we go. Because this movie, which is listed online as a science, fantasy, adventure, live-action, comedic adaptation, was dished out in 1993. Fuck, I'm old. Whatever. Anyway, the movie is named, of course, after what was at the time, and what is probably to this day, one of the biggest and most well-known, and more than likely one of the most successful video game franchises ever. But the film itself sucks. Because this damn movie, as it took 4 drafted scripts just to get it right before deciding to go in a completely different direction than any of those scripts had called upon. As it stars Bob Hoskins as Mario, who just seemed to be recycling his Eddie Valiant New Yorker accent, and John Leguizamo as Mario's younger brother, Luigi. It's just horrible. And then you had Dennis Hopper as the monstrous King Koopa, and Samantha Mathis, whoever the fuck that is, as Princess Daisy. As they pretty much all signed on to do the movie after looking over the same script, which, of course, was not the script that they ended up getting stuck with. So you gotta wonder if it was good enough to attract all those people. I can't help but be curious about what we could have gotten in that script that they found so damned appealing, and why we didn't get that script. And if so many found it so damned appealing, I can't help but be more curious as to why the fuck we didn't get it. And then I just keep thinking to myself, okay, let's do the math. You had one script that they read but didn't end up making. You had the script that they went with. Okay, well, that still leaves 2. So how bad were those 2 scripts that they felt the need to go with what we got? That they kept going back to the drawing board. Whatever. Because before we even get to the movie, before we even get to the plot, I'm already thinking, I'm already trying to figure out how we can fix this thing. And my first brain fart here is that we start from the top down. We go with, obviously a new director. One that knows bigger than life family films. Maybe even someone that knows their way around CGI. As much as I hate to say it. Because as unreal and cartoony as that can look sometimes, that might not be as horrible a thing as it really sounds, At least not this time. Because this movie, at least the one that we got, repeatedly tripped over itself as it tried to find its way. And I can't help but wonder if maybe part of that was because it refused to take the absurdity of the video game and truly embrace it. And as much as embracing absurdity can kick you in the ass depending on the genre, I think that actually such a move might benefit you this time around. So yeah, we need to find someone that really knows how to embrace that kind of absurdity. Really knows how to pander to kids and their love for video games and toys and cartoons and just anything like that. One that knows how to keep the kiddies happy while still being able to entertain the adults by tossing out things like innuendo and softly throwing adult jokes. So I'm thinking maybe someone like Spielberg, Whedon even. Or maybe even that dude that directed Space Jam. What's his name? Ah, shit, who cares? Yeah, but get him. I mean, any one of them would be perfect for the job, really. Never mind, because I don't know about any of the others that I just mentioned, that were attached to any of this rotting slop. But to give Bob and John their due, as Bob probably spent much of his time wishing that they had gone with someone like Tom Hanks or Danny DeVito instead. At least he and John seemingly saw the writing on the wall, and realized how bad this movie was probably gonna be. 'Cause they reportedly spent the majority of the time extremely drunk around the clock. And, yeah, surprise, surprise, that's how I usually watch this thing nowadays. I mean, I gotta be drunk off my ass just to tell you about it, Just to be able to tell you the story of the Plummer Brothers, who stumble upon a parallel universe that just so happens to be ruled by the ruthless dictator, King Koopa. I mean, I gotta have at least a fifth of whiskey in me just to be able to say those words. And while giving you that little taste of what's to come, I had another brain fart. 'Cause Princess Daisy, if we're gonna redo this fucker, we need to recast that role altogether. Maybe do a sort of damsel in distress role that I think from this moment forward should be played by Megan Fox. And then, at least if this new and improved version goes anywhere, after we try and breathe some new life into it, well, at least then, if it takes off, we might have a few good years where we get to watch Megan Fox constantly try to escape impossible feats, and maybe even certain comedic death. And I, for one, like that damned idea. Especially the certain comedic death thing. Okay? Where was I? Oh, right. The movie. So, when this thing was released by Hollywood Pictures, which is a film label of the Disney Company, which, in hindsight, explains a whole hell of a lot, to tell you the truth. But when it came out, well, I don't think it comes as a surprise to anybody that this thing was a box office bomb. It grossed a mere $20 million on a $48 million budget. But despite its horrid failure, it has since become a cult favorite of many fanboys. I mean, I can't stand the motherfucker, but a lot of fanboys love this damn thing. So, I mean, in other words, for some people, it just seems too damn bad not to watch over and over again. You know, I mean, I guess some people look at it like this. It's sort of like when you're watching breaking news, and suddenly, something gets blown up. And despite the fact that you realize, somewhere in that noggin of yours, that,
holy damnation, people just died in there.
The only thing you can really think is,
holy damnation, I got TiVo. Where's the fucking remote? I gotta see that shit again.
And really,